Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cast Carbon, and this is part 15 of the Metal Master Chief armor build. I have a microphone. Yes, I purchased a little wireless microphone, so hopefully this sounds better when I do the intros and the outros. I haven't tested it yet, but if the microphone and the noise canceling stuff works good enough, I might be able to actually use it when I'm in the shop, so that way you guys can hear what I'm saying and we can talk about things and stuff, and it won't just be the same type of video all the time. But I have to test and figure out if that works. So with that little bit of housekeeping out of the way, this video is going to be about getting the suit wearable. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So that is a big pile of steel on the shop floor. Now, normally I would be talking to y'all about patterns, but today patterns are not really relevant. We're taking each piece of the suit and we are making it wearable. Because while each part can fit on my body, nothing really stays in place. I mean, you know, the helmet, if I put that on, that's not going to just fall off. If I put the upper body on, that's not really going to fall off. But I mean, even then, you know, nothing here is really, none of these parts are really made wearable yet. So we're going to do that today. Now, the way I intend to do this, I'm going to kind of take each section of the armor and make it sort of a like a sub-unit, right? So like the boots, each boot is going to be like a full unit of armor. Each leg, all these three parts, that's going to be a piece, etc., etc., etc. But on this particular day, to start with, we're going to take the boots, and I'm going to start with those and kind of just work my way up the rest of the suit till I get to that helmet over there. And yeah, we're going to take these guys and just get started on that. Going to start with marking out and drilling the holes in that foot cover thingy. Now, to be fair, I am just kind of eyeballing this. I don't really have a plan here. I'm gonna go with that. So, dead center, and then 1.5 centimeters all the way around. Yeah, that looks good. Gonna use this absurdly big step bits. I don't know where I'm gonna stop. I think either 16 or 14. This one's in millimeters, so I think it's either gonna be 16 or 14 millimeters. But I'm gonna test on one of these corners and figure it out from there. I think I'm gonna go with that size. So my very scientific way of figuring out what I want to do. That ended up being the 14 millimeter hole size on the step up bit. That's fine, but since that takes forever, I am going to do the rest off camera, and I'll be back right about now. I think that turned out pretty good. The spacing is, I bet if you got in there and really, like, you know, super duper measured it, something might be a little off, but for my purposes, these are good. So, now I'm gonna cut links of chain, and I'm gonna weld them from here to the inside of here. So I'm gonna cut these off camera, and then we'll weld them up. Yeah, buddy. That works pretty well. It do kind of lock up because both chains are not perfectly aligned, but for what I need to do, which is go from here to here, just, you know, enough to walk, that will suffice. I do have to, however, trim this out. So this whole thing, I'm gonna just trim the crap out of that. I may trim some of this off, but like, brother man, I cannot even get my foot inside there. It's not great. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. So I had I found a problem with this design. The the chain being as thick as it is means I can't really get a boot or shoe or anything to fit inside here. Those nubbins, yeah, they make it too wide on the interior, so I need to think of a new hinge mechanism. Okay, I have the chain cleaned off. This guy is going to be welded here on the inside. I've rounded this over. I'm going to drill a hole and put a nut and bolt for this later. So that's how that's going to work. And then this guy is going to be welded inside here. So now, if you look right here, you can see we got a whole nut and bolt situation, as well as a whole, what is that? That was like 1.25 inch wide hinge that I made. They're a little janky because they're not perfectly lined up with one another. But after doing the hinge and the holes, I also added this sort of trim piece around here. And I'm gonna say with all this, the boots are done. So moving up to the shin guards and the knee pads, I've decided I'm gonna take this guy and this guy, and we're gonna match them together to make this a little bit more easy, because if I'm gonna have to do hinges the way I did on the boot, I want this to work easily. I also have to take the back of the shin, deal with this lower calf situation. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and fill this guy in with material and just make this a whole solid part. Originally, I know I told y'all that this was gonna be hinged and I was gonna use the spoon method from the Clone Trooper, but we're doing away with that. I'm gonna just build this up, finish filling this all in, and then what I'm gonna do afterwards is I'm going to find out how much of this I need to take out for my heel to get through. And that's most likely how we're gonna make this work.
really, this has got to sit a little bit higher. You know, right now it's kind of doing that. It's going to have to sit here. So then I'll be able to move my ankle better. But I mean, I can already do this. So that's good. If I go the other way, I'm kind of running into stuff. I think later I'll end up cutting out some material here, but overall, I'm happy with this so far. We're making progress. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a similar hinge, right? So I took a couple strips, drilled a hole and ran a little nut and bolt through. I'm gonna make a couple more sets of hinges to bridge the thigh armor to the shin guard. So let's get that started. Right now, this is wildly uncomfortable because I got my clamps holding everything together. But I've got one hinge on here and figured out for the knee. And once I tack this thing on, I can then position the other hinge and we can make some freaking magic happen, boys. Okay, things aren't perfect right now. I'm holding the thighs up with my gloved hands, right? Now, here, this area, that is dangerous. That is a pinching zone. So I'm gonna have to trim that so that way I don't get cut up. Plus, I have decided that I'm gonna take my normal working boots. I have an old pair of working boots. I'm gonna modify an old pair of working boots to work with these boots, and I'll be able to make this function a lot better. But I'm on my way to having space robot metal pants, and that is pretty doggone cool, bruh. So next is the waist. I'm gonna take this thing and chop it all to pieces because as it is right now, it works, but it doesn't work, you know? What I mean is, it works because like it can fit around me, and that is what I need it to do. And the mechanism here on the side, the whole taking a hinge and turning it into like a latching mechanism, you know, that's great and all that. That was a neat idea, and I was happy with it at the time. But honestly, having it built this way, where it's this solid, rigid thing, sucks. It really sucks. It really, really sucks. It is super uncomfortable. And unfortunately, this is just me making a horrible mistake. The way the front is angled in, it digs into the leg in a very unpleasant way. And we don't like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a grinder with a cutoff wheel and start chopping this up. So we've got our 4 sections, right? We got the booty butt cheeks, we got the front, that is the loudest freaking airplane possible right now. We have the front, the codpiece section, and we have the two hip boxes, right? So my new plan, instead of having it be this whole contraption with a hinge on the one side and the whole thing clamshells open, right? Instead of all that, I have a nice heavy-duty tactical style belt, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and use it and all the pieces, and I'm going to weld on essentially just a big old belt loopy, right? So this is the left hand, this is the left side little hip box thing. I'm gonna take this strip and weld it on this little tab, and it'll slot onto the belt, and that'll be how that's worn. That's gonna be the same for the booty butt cheeks, both of the hip boxes. For the front, for I think what I'm gonna do, instead of doing a full belt loop, I may do it such that there's like a belt loop on one side, but then like the other side, it's got like a partial loop, so it's like almost more like it's a hook, right? So I can have this thing, I can open it up, I can get to the actual belt buckle, undo the belt buckle, so I can take the thing off or put it on, and then I can bring this over and just like hook it over the top, so this will stay in place. I've also trimmed certain faces so they're, not gonna dig into parts of my body. I've trimmed here, I've trimmed here, I've trimmed here, so there's gonna be a little bit more comfortable to wear. It's the part of the suit that's the weirdest. In any case, I'm gonna go ahead and tack this all up and get the belt working. Oh gosh, it's one of the single stupidest individual clips I've ever had to record. But this is promising. This is so much better than previously anticipated. All I gotta do now is I gotta figure how I'm going to get the front half of the belt to where it'll stick on here. So I'm gonna brainstorm and full weld the hip boxes and my booty so that way they will stay on this belt. On my left hand side, it's gonna have a belt loop, but then on this side, we just got a hook. So once this is on the belt, and I have already tested it, I'll be able to have this open, reach inside and undo the buckle, or put it together, and then I can just lean this up and slip it over top. And I already tested, this will work. So let me full weld this, and then I'm gonna show you guys the whole belt together. I've got metal pants.
Metal pants. Okay, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. It's half of a suit, but we're making good progress. There is a little bit of tweaking left to do on the legs and the boots that I'm gonna just do kind of off camera. It's not exciting. It's switching one set of nuts and bolts for a different set of nuts and bolts. There's also the suspenders themselves that I'm going to add, which is just not super duper interesting. I'll show y'all later. But still, having the metal pants ready to go and have them be wearable, I mean, again, I know they're basically metal pants, but that was legitimately exciting. I had a big dumb grin on my face, stomping around in my yard, being like, haha, I got metal pants. Anyway, in the next video, we are going to tackle the upper body, the arms, the glove hand backer plates, and the helmet. I think I can get all of that in the next video. I should be able to. I wanted to go ahead and just keep this video a little short, cut that stuff for the next video, you know? And I believe after that, the next video after that is going to be paint, filler, any other bells and whistles, padding, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I think 2 more videos and I will finally have that metal Master Chief Halo 2 armor completed. So then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do here, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Cast Carbon, and I'm just going to keep on keeping on.